Welcome back. In this video, let's read and discuss some AITAs. I've got Reddit pulled up already. Let's just jump right into it. AITA for wanting my husband to do a home drug test. This sounds like a whole lot of drama. Let's get into it. I walked in on him doing cocaine 3 different times and found baggies in our home throughout our marriage. We've been married 7 years and have 2 kids. Each time I've caught him, he denies it, even when I see it with my own eyes. Yeesh. Anyways, over the past few months, I've had suspicions of him using again, but haven't said anything, just watched his behavior. Well, last night he went to the gas station, he comes back home, straight to the bathroom, locks the door, turns on the fan, and runs the faucet. And I can hear him sniffing. He wouldn't open the door for me when I knocked and told me I'm crazy for thinking he's doing anything wrong. He also got super mad when I asked him to do a home drug test, which I already had a few ready at home. I figure if he's not hiding something, he would do it no problem. AITA. I'm going with NTA. It doesn't say this specifically in the story, but it's like if you have suspicions that he's doing it again and he's denying it, there obviously was probably some sort of situation where, like, when you've seen it like you walk in and it's on the table right there, he probably agrees to, like, never do it again, clean up his act, and be the husband and father that he's supposed to be, right? And so now, sometime later, she's seeing him pick back up these old habits and lies. No, I'm going with an NTA. Like, if someone has already lied to you in the past about this exact same topic, and particularly around something that, like, is such a recurring issue, such as drug use, like, really, you should be surprised if someone doesn't relapse, you know what I mean? So it's like, for the behavior to be suspicious and for her to want to confirm that he is in fact probably lying again, I don't think that makes her an a-hole at all, particularly when this is, again, your husband and the father of your children. Like, you need a particular type of mindset and behavior and stability from your husband and the father of your children that typically doesn't come from a drug user. So it's pretty important to know if your partner is making such a big life choice. Like, this is a lot of finances. This affects everything in your entire life, marriage, family, everything. So I'm pretty sure the comments are going to go NTA with me, but let's just scroll down and find out. NTA, why are you playing games? You are not in a partnership. You are monitoring the person you live with and not able to have any real conversations about the problem. This does not go away. He needs to get help, and you need to separate until he does. This only gets worse, and it's not just you. You need to get the kids out of there before there is the fallout. This commenter says, a drug test isn't going to tell you anything you don't already know. Your husband is using illegal drugs around your children and blatantly lying to you about it. You've reached the point of ultimatums. Either he gets help or he gets out. You will no longer play games with him. He is an addict and you are done looking the other way. Those are his only 2 choices. You cannot, in good conscience, allow him to put you and your children in jeopardy any longer. Addicts lie, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, it has to be given consequences for its actions, and know that the choice is his. Drugs or his family, period. I'm not downplaying how difficult this is for you. I walked in his shoes, and my addiction was ignored by many people for so long that I actually believed they were just waiting for me to die from it, because they couldn't be bothered to see that I was screaming for help. I finally chose myself and got help. It's out there, but sometimes we need to be told that what we have to lose before we do. I hope he chooses his family, but either way, you have to protect your kids. If one of them finds one of his little baggies of powder, it could have catastrophic consequences. Please get help for yourself as well. Oh, yeah, she had said, I almost, like, skimmed over that. She said, like, she's found baggies, which means it's very possible, I'm assuming, for the kids to find baggies. Like, that is awful. This one says, everyone sucks here, which I hadn't really considered that, but now that that's an option in my brain, Everybody sucks here because girl, does she suck though? I was almost gonna be like, yeah, everybody sucks here because why are you playing games? Why are you sticking around, blah blah this stuff? I am the last person on this entire galaxy. I was gonna say on this planet, in this entire galaxy, to criticize someone for not moving on when they know they should. I get it. It's so hard. Like radical acceptance that your relationship is failing and you need to move on from it is so hard. And I don't even have children. So that's like an extreme extra, like it's like I have mental illness, so it's really hard for me, but to have children involved in it, I'm not going to go with everybody sucks. In fact, like I understand desperately trying to make and this isn't only a relationship, but your relationship and your family work. Like you don't want to break up a family. You don't want to do that. But anyway, let me read why everybody sucks in this commenter's opinion. Your husband for his drug use in the house with children, and you for allowing his drug use to happen in the house with children multiple times. Maybe I am just like too much putting my bias, and maybe too, like, yeah, a little part of me kind of has to admit that like maybe it's an everybody sucks here kind of moment, but my personal bias just has it at, wouldn't she also suck if just the first time that he struggled with something? Oh my god, the more I try to justify her, the more I feel like I'm wrong. I was going to say, wouldn't it suck of her to just ditch him the second he has problems? No, but that's not the situation. We're talking she's letting him keep doing this. I think I just personally don't want to admit that everybody sucks here because then that's like in my brain saying something about my own personal choices in the past. Like I'm putting this on myself. But I think this commenter is right. I think everybody does suck here. Though, again, I will give her so much credit because I understand wanting to keep your family together. Anyways, let's move on to another one. AITA for refusing to help my friend financially when I can afford it. A friend asked me for $4.5 thousand due to financial struggles, but I refused because my parents taught me financial responsibility. I worry I might strain our friendship, and I don't feel responsible for her financial issues. She called me selfish and uncaring. I'm 20 male. I'm a college student in the US, coming from a wealthy family overseas. Recently, a close friend, 20 female, has been struggling financially as she had to pay some unexpected medical bills for her family and asked me to help. She knows my family is well off and assumed it wouldn't be a great deal for me to lend her around $4,500. Here's the thing. While I do have access to a considerable amount of money, I don't feel comfortable giving away that much money. Growing up, I was taught the importance of financial responsibility. My family's money is for my education and living expenses and not for me to be giving it away. Additionally, I am also worried that the potential impact on our friendship, as I've had similar situations ruin previous relationships. I don't want her to feel jealous or pressured by the debt, especially if she has trouble to pay it back. I also feel as it's not my responsibility to bail her out. I feel bad for her situation, but I don't think it's fair for her to rely just on me because she knows I have the means. Although I explained all this to her, she got very upset and called me selfish. She said true friends help each other in challenging times and that I am showing my true colors by refusing to help. I'm starting to feel a little conflicted and guilty, so I'm thinking of going to my parents about this after reading some advice here. AITA. This one has me conflicted. Typically, when I read these, I'm only like halfway through the story and I have a pretty set opinion. This one has a lot of sides to it. I do very much understand that all of poor people's problems are not on rich people. They're not, it's not the obligation. to pay for things that poor people can't afford. But there's the other side of that coin that is, once you have all that you need, I do feel like it is then our responsibility as like people who want to live in community to, like, once you have everything that you need, then go looking around to see like your excess, like where would that be best put. Like, I kind of have to go with NTA because it's not his responsibility to pay this girl's bills. But I don't feel right about that answer. Like, I still feel like you're the a-hole, sure. Because, again, I'm very much like, maybe I'm a bit of a socialist, but I'm just like, once you have everything once I have everything that I need, and I'm sitting here with a little bit extra, my first inclination is to see who could benefit from it. Because I'm not benefiting from it. It's just like extra. I'm really conflicted on this, but I feel like I have to lean more towards NTA. Let's go see what the comments say. I kind of have a feeling they're an NTA as well. NTA, trust your instincts here. Lending her this money will destroy your friendship. Or even asking has probably started on that path. Yeah, and unfortunately, it's like, people always say that, like, oh, lending money to a friend could go back. I honestly, I don't think it's even the lending. I think it's the asking. Like, we're already in this awkwardness. We're already in this, like, problem. Let me scroll down and see. NTA for several reasons. It's not your money, it's your parents, and without their permission, it would be wrong to give out a loan. Is it the parents? Oh, yeah, he said it's like it's his parents' money. I don't know. NTA, true friends don't ask their friends to loan them money. They just don't. And they also don't try to emotionally manipulate the other person to do what they want. NTA, it's okay to set boundaries, especially with money. Helping out financially shouldn't be an expectation, even if you can afford it. That's something I just, personally, I would never just go to my friends and ask for that amount of money. Like, I'd go homeless before I personally did that, just saying. NTA, my brother lent $2,000 to a friend when we were 18 and he never got it back. Been over a decade. It strained his friendship immensely and he rarely talks to said friend anymore. He doesn't need it back either. It's not about that. It's about the principle of saying you will pay it back and then not, especially as a friend. NTA, forget about your friendship. When your friends ask for money, if you don't give them money and they use it against you, then your friendship is pretty much done. I'm just reading like the first sentence of all these different comments. So, on the context of lending her money, NTA, especially as she seems to expect it just because you come from a wealthy family. But stop on the lecturing her or anyone about financial responsibility when the money you have access to isn't because of your personal financial responsibility. Not everyone has the cushion you have. Many people don't have that kind of cushion, and literally one medical emergency can financially cripple a person, regardless of how responsible they may be. You sound a bit high and mighty on that point, and it's obnoxious. Thank you. Okay, I really was not coming to these words on my own. That's what I was feeling, and I couldn't vocalize it. That's why I was like, no, you're not an a-hole, but I don't feel right about saying, like, if you feel like an a-hole to me, that's kind of what it's like. Don't. And the OP clarified that this person is having money issues because of an unexpected medical problem. It's not like some other stories where, like, oh, the person just, like, spends a lot of money frivolously, this, that, and the other. They just make irresponsible decision. This was, like, a medical emergency that, again, like, right, no matter how responsible you are with money, a medical financial emergency could literally cripple even the most of, like, stable person with money. So to have someone who is only stable with money because of somebody else's work criticizing, okay, That's why I wanted to go with a YTA. I feel like in hindsight, that's why I was like, something's just not sitting right. And that I feel like this person really narrowed it down for me. So I 1,000,000% completely agree with this. NTA for not loaning your money. YTA for trying to act high and mighty and better than thou over something that's not your accomplishment. I like that. Let's go on to another one. What could be the issue? This one literally just says AITA took wrong food container for lunch. What could be such a problem over, oops, he took the wrong lunch, that like you're writing out a whole Reddit post about it? Just, it's a oopsie, took the wrong lunch. Anyway, let's see. I, 38 female, just got a very strong talking to from my husband, 39 male, that has gone on for way too long for taking the wrong, she says, container of dinner from the night for lunch before. What is this grammar? Their grammar is really messed up. Essentially, she's saying she got a big long talking to because she took the wrong container to lunch with her. He demanded to review what I wrote prior to posting. His response to reading the following is, your response is, I'm not sorry, you shouldn't have done. I can't read this one. The grammar is like all messed up, and it's really, really long for me to try to get through that messed up grammar for that long. So let's just go on to a different one, honestly. AITA, if I tell my friend who is pursuing music that she can't sing. I tend to be on the opposite side of things from this. While, yes, as a friend, you want to be as encouraging and supportive as you can, I feel like encouragement and support will not always feel good to the person that you are supporting. And like the flip side of that, it's important that I understand that someone supporting me will not always feel good. I think it's very important to have like very real friends who are not afraid to tell you the reality of things. So just my assumption off the bat is I'm going to go with a YTA, but let's read and see, because who knows? I haven't even read the dang story, and look at me, I'm already come to my conclusions. My 23 female, who I've known since freshman year of high school, is currently pursuing music in LA. She's an incredible writer and went to a great private liberal arts school in California for writing. So many of us thought she would pursue songwriting as opposed to singing. She has released 3 songs and has an album on the way, and they are just bad. She's got a horrible timbre. It's flat and whiny with weird modulation and pitch. And she's even worse live. All of her LA friends are gassing her up, telling her she's amazing and supporting her, but I wonder to what extent it will hurt her in the future when someone in the industry finally says those words, you can't sing. I want to support her and her future, but it's tough to watch her actively and ambitiously pursue something she's objectively bad at. Would it be better for a friend to say something, or should we all just wait it out? Okay, now there's an update here that gives me the impression that everyone is calling her an animal. Because it says, update, thank you for everyone for a lot of constructive criticism and for calling me, though some of you definitely called me out. I appreciate the reminder that art is never objective and that singing is a skill that can be worked on. I'm going to continue to support my friend's career and keep my mouth shut. Okay, so everyone told her she's an a-hole because she clearly decided that would be best. See, I was going to say the opposite. I feel like you should be realistic with your friends. Encourage them. Like, if she is a really good songwriter, encourage that. You could still be you don't have to encourage every single thing a person does to be overall encouraging to them. I don't know, but let me read the comments because they might change my mind like they changed hers. Let's see. This is such a difficult situation because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. The worst part is that it seems like this is a dream she believes is worth pursuing, and you don't want to be the person to crush someone's dream. If you don't tell her, someone else will sooner or later, and it'll hurt that you, as her friend, didn't look out for her. If you do tell her, there's a possibility that she might think you're not being a supportive friend. So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's like kind of like if you know that your best friend's boyfriend's a cheater, and you don't tell her, and then she finds out that you've known, that's hurtful. It's like if you saw your friend failing and encourage them to fail worse, that's awful. But again, obviously I understand the opposite side of it too, where not supporting your friends on their dreams. And again, art is very like subjective. Maybe you think she's real bad, but hundreds of thousands of people might think she's real good. I don't know. To be honest with you, if I were in this situation, I would not say anything, and I would support her in her dream as best I can because she's working very hard to achieve this. Yes, she might not be the best singer, but music is very subjective. There are many artists in the world that I think are not talented, but they always sell records and even sell out their concerts. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out, and that's okay. She'll be able to deal with that knowing that she tried her very best. Yeah, you know what I just, like, have y'all heard The Weeknd sing live? I'm sure you have, most likely. Like, whose did he suck? Because how did that guy get? That's horrific. Like, it doesn't even sound like, oh, that's not the best. Like, it sounds awful. Awful. And yet he be selling out arenas, winning Grammys, blah, blah. I don't know what he has, but like, you know, you get my point. It's like he's big. Bob Dylan was a horrible singer, amazing songwriter, bad voice. He was quite successful performing artist. So if you have a dream, go for it. Unless she sits you down and pleads you for an honest critique of her vocal ability and asks why you think she's not getting traction, I'd keep it to yourself. I'm not going to read the rest of that comment, but that is such a good point. It does depend on like what kind of what kind of conversations are happening. That is very true. For her to just come in and be like, oh, I'm so excited I got this audition, or I'm making this tape, or write this song, whatever, and you're just like, well, hold up, girl, you're like, you kind of suck. Now that would be wrong, right? I do think it's more like this. It's like, yeah, okay, maybe I do change my position just a little bit. Because I very much agree with that comment. In that, if my friend is always like, oh man, this still isn't working. Well, what am I doing wrong? This and that. That's when I feel like it is vital as a friend to be straight up. But I will concede that, yeah, when someone's excited about something, and especially if she's new to it and trying, and you can learn and grow and become a better singer. So it's like, especially when someone's fresh at something and very excited about it. No, like that isn't the timing or the situation in which I feel like the person needs to be real. So I do kind of change my position quite a bit there because I feel like I was imagining a little bit different situation than what was actually described here. When I stop and think about this wouldn't be a time where I would feel it was appropriate to be real. This is where I would feel it appropriate to be supportive. So I think I'm going to go with yeah, you'd be the a-hole if you did. Perhaps she can't sing, or perhaps you just don't like her singing. Yeah. You mentioned that she's done live gigs as well as releasing 3 songs. What's the reception been like from her audience? If it's just her friends bigging her up and the audience don't like it, then I think you have a reasonable objection. If the audience like it as well as her friends... Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to go with a YTA. If you were to do that, YTA. But I think we're going to just go ahead and call that one here. A little bit short of a video, but let's move on for the day, shall we? Let me know any of your thoughts on these topics down below. I would love to discuss them with you. Go ahead and like this video if you liked it. Subscribe when you're hanging out down there, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.